So here you go, you can see a bunch of Ronso have reappeared. Here's an old one, she says, "My mate died in battle. It was a proud death, fit for Ronso. He marched to the far plain with horn held high." Amazing. So they still believe, I guess, the far plane isn't really a question of belief, I suppose, not in this world. It is a place. "Even young Ronso have mighty horns greater than any fiend. In snow and ice, this Ronso grow as big as mountain. Sure, we Ronso also wait for calm of Summoner Una." Oh yeah, I guess there's that. We gotta get on that, right? Don't worry, this is all prep for that. Yeah, it's all prep. "Many Ronso have fallen into the hands of the unsent Seymour. It is the fate of the Ronso to die in battle, but so few are left. Even these guys aren't doing very well. And these guys don't deserve it either. I mean, you can say that the Guado deserve it. These guys? Ronso will guard the mountain to the very last. Here is Maechan. Sup, dude?
Shall I tell you about the spearer of days long past, eh?
Now, he has some great information for us here. We'd love to hear it, because of course he wasn't here before.
There is a legend, you know. Just before the horrible sin appeared, a terrible war raged between Bavel and Xanakant. When the armies of Bavel attacked Mount Gagosagno, they heard a song echoing across the snowy slopes. "'Tis a song from an other world," they said. Soldiers panicked and ran. And then, as if to pursue the retreating armies, sin appeared. Some time later, scouts from Bavel braved the mountain. On the other side, they witnessed the ruins that had been Xanakant. The city destroyed, not a single soul left standing, gone. In its place, a multitude of the faith had gathered on Gagosagno. They were singing a song. It's the song we now call the Hymn of the Faith. And that, as they say, is the...
Wow.
Well, maybe not all.
No, not all of it. But still, amazing stuff, right? How does Maechan know all this crap? So cool. So this puts a slant further on what we've known. Something I believe the series leaves ambiguous. Okay, now in many places it will state one thing as concrete or whatever, but who destroyed Xanakant? We were led to believe that it was the Bavel. They were more powerful, they were superior, they destroyed Xanakant. But this guy here says the Bavel scouts, when they first laid eyes on Xanakant, the place was destroyed. And that seems to suggest that was a surprise to them. Sin had destroyed it. Sin seeking out Maechan from no matter what city. From within Sin, Yu Yevon was summoning Dream Xanakant. What use was there for real Xanakant anymore? Question mark? I don't know. It's kind of curious, right?
Would you like to hear the rest?
Absolutely. Let's continue.
Rumors flew in Bavel about Sin's sudden appearance. They said that the people of Xanakant became the faith that they had called Sin, and that the man responsible was none other than the summoner Yevon, ruler of Xanakant. Yes, the Lord Father of Lady Yunalesca. On the eve of Xanakant's destruction, Lady Yunalesca had fled to safety with her husband Zeon. Later, the two used the final summoning to defeat Sin. Yet the people of Bavel still feared Yu Yevon. It was to quell his wrath that they revered him and first spread his teachings. And so were born the temples of Yevon. I suppose it's possible Yunalesca had planned it that way from the start. A fair trade. She defeats Sin in exchange for her Lord Father's honor. Of course, there's no proof. No, the facts are lost in the mists of time. And who'd admit Yevon was an enemy of Bavel? You can bet the temples had a hand in covering that one up. And that, as they say, is that.
Pretty fascinating stuff, right, guys? Really, really cool. Even Lady Yunalesca, who we see, you know, Reaper of Souls, and she had all this messed up stuff about her. She had to run away and flee from her father, destroying everything. Like, I don't know, it's a weird twist there that she was still fighting for his honor or whatever, I guess, would be the idea. But maybe, you know, maybe she hated him and she did this. There's little Zeon, she killed herself as well. Don't forget, she was an unsent. They did this to go against her own father. Her father, who is still inside Sin.
Like to hear more, would you? Let me tell you about the Hymn of the Faith. It was once a Xanacan song, sung in defiance of Bevel. Of course, the Evan clergy of Bevel forbade it. Then, as these things often go, those who disliked heaven began to sing it. The Al-Bed, for instance. The Hymn of the Faith became the symbol of defiance against Yevon. Yevon could do nothing but capitulate. They lifted the ban on the song and spread a new story. They said the hymn was a song sung to soothe the souls of the dead. And so saying, they took the song and made it scripture. That's why today, the hymn is sung all over Spira. You could say that though Xanacan is gone from this world, it lives on in the song. Ah, but look at the time. I've rambled on again. I do love stories, you see. Well, I owe you my gratitude for hearing this old scholar out.
Man, I can listen to this guy ramble all day. Jeez.
Like to hear about this place once more?
I believe it will just loop from here. You got the 3 different topics. You have to say never mind if you...
Suit yourself.
But yeah, fascinating stuff, right? Really, really cool. This obviously explains why Jecht and Tidus, they both knew the song. It explains the connection between it and then the 2 worlds. I love the idea of Xanacan just being this other world as they described it. Really cool. This guy over here, maybe a merchant. Ronso, always prepared to fight. Always keep weapons and armor in top shape. So check it out. He's a guy. We can't even afford most of this stuff. Silent Strike and Zombie Touch. Really cool. You're going to silence anything you attack because it's strike. Zombie touch, you've got a chance of turning these things into zombies too. The reticent staff does the same thing. I guess they all do the same thing. And the armor here, Berserk and Confused Ward. Even Confused Proof on some of these things. Actually, no, it's Confused... Why is Confused Ward on some and Proof on the others? But whatever. Cool stuff. Cool gear. It's just like, why would you buy it? Why? How much money are you going to have? So there's various warp locations you can go to. The mountain trail, which is way up near Seymour 3. I showed you guys that before. Cave entrance. This is in the caves, which we'll go to later in the story when we're summoning a Dark Aeon. We're going to go near the Xanacan ruins, though. I think that's the last of Maechan in this series too, guys. Well, this game. So yeah. Alright. These are the Xanacan ruins, and what we're doing here is we're going back to the Closter of Trials for one final destruction sphere. And there's also a Dark Aeon there too, which we have to be careful of, which I warned you guys about. If you didn't get Tidus's crest, the Sun Crest, your first time through there, you're going to be blocked by a Dark Aeon. You'll notice the airship floating in the sky there. This also happens in the sequel, but there's a chance for it not to be there, or a chance for it to be in even a different airship. Pretty cool. Just one of those fun little things they put there. Kind of doesn't scale up very well in the HD remake, in my opinion, but whatever. Alright, so we're back, and this time what we're going to be doing in the Closter of Trials is we're going to be activating all of the squares that we were avoiding before, which were the white ones. So you'll notice this thing here isn't doing anything, but the pads are active. So we're going to find the white ones. There's 2 in the first room. Actually, there's 3 in the first room, and you're going to probably hear my voice go a bit weird, like a bit distant, as I'm looking down to my friggin' guide right now. But there you go. So that's 2 of them. The next one is not there. God damn it. So I guess if you do that, I actually didn't know what the failure looked like. So that's that one there. And you have to do both rooms at once, as far as I remember. Yeah, so do be cautious of that. So you got this one here. You got this one here. And as ever with many of these things, you know, just a simple map of some sort is immensely helpful. Like the butterfly catching minigame, super useful. Some of the minigames here are RNG, like the chocobo catcher, but whatever. So we got 1 in this room. Okay, now... this one? Yes, okay. What this is... Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, no, okay, that's just the platform, which I didn't want to go on. So I think that should just summon a bridge, a lift, which I don't want to go down. There's nothing down there for us, so don't worry about that. Okay, that's cool. So this one here is another white square. You can almost see on the floor, almost like the shapes of them. I doubt you guys can it on YouTube, but it is very subtly there. Okay, and there's one more, which is... this one. Are we done? Yeah, there we go. And this original TV screen becomes a glyph. Opens up, revealing a destruction sphere. Now, where might we want to put a destruction sphere? Good question. Like, there's a lot of different pedestals. One of the pedestals, friggin', when we took the sphere out, it turned off the lights, right? Well, what's going on there now? Well, they're both empty. I've always put it in the one on the right. I don't think it actually matters. But we're going to take the destruction sphere from behind one monitor and use it to destroy the other monitor. And there you go, guys. That's the end of the Closter of Trials for Final Fantasy X. Open up our final sphere chest, the Magistral Rod. Now, sadly, at this point in the game, are you really going to want to change Yuna's weapon? What I find really interesting, though, is the very first Closter of Trials gave her a weapon, and the very last one gives her a weapon. And where you got the staff from the first one, you destroyed a wall that said Zanarkand on it. So it's like the start of the pilgrimage, the end of the pilgrimage, whatever. Anyway, Magistral Rod. This has half MP cost. Very difficult to find, but if you equip this, all of her spells in battles cost half. So that 85 MP Holy will have now gone down to like 43. I'm sure it rounds up. So that's the way that it works. Pretty cool. And there's also an even more powerful one called 1 MP cost, which is actually on Yuna's final weapon. So, with that done, we're not going to go down to where we saw Yuna and stuff. We're not going to tick off any Dark Aeons. Instead, we're going to go back on the airship. That's the world tour so far. But there's a bunch of passwords. Now, I've already shown you guys one. I'm now going to edit in some footage of the other 2 passwords we could have found and how we find them. And we're going to visit those locations. Alright, so we're going to start here at the Thunder Plains. There is an Albed clue, which we've seen before in the game, that leads you to the Thunder Plains, to this tower that says, very simply, the password is Murasame. That's it. It's so easy. But to be led to the Thunder Plains, we need to get there from somewhere else, which I'll show you guys in just a second. It's the last place we're going to go. There's also this one here in Kilika, which has got this random jumble of text too. Remember, this is what we were talking about in Besaid. There's the one in Besaid that says, Kilika and Beacon join as one. So we get those letters from Kilika, we get these letters from Beacon, something is written here, combine them together, and it comes out by saying the password is victorious. And there you go. Alright, so let's enter the first password, which is God Hand. Here we go, we're on the airship menu right now, we'll confirm it. Password number 1 deciphered, so we have got a new location available now at Mushroom Rock. So let's go check this out.
Yeehaw! Here we go!
Well, now you'll see we're actually in this area. I keep saying there's a really significant story thing. Again, we're not really going to figure stuff out. In the sequel, there's an entrance to a dungeon down here. But for us, where a bunch of people were and all this cool stuff went on, but for us, there's really very little we can do. We can just wander around until we find a chest where the Celestial Mirror seems to react. So this was arguably the hardest password to find. This was the long one in the Calmlands. This actually is Riku's Celestial Weapon. So we've got a fair few of them now. She walks over, she cheers, and that's her holding it there. Beastly looking thing, the God Hand. Pretty cool. Let's head back onto the airship and see what we got next. Alright, the next password was victorious. As we can type in here very slowly, victorious. And we get to see where this one will take us as soon as I'm done. I believe you have to go all caps with these as well, by the way. There's not any that have lowercase, so you don't have to worry too much. Password number 2 deciphered. This is the Besaid Ruins 1. There's actually loads of stuff in Besaid. So you've got Besaid Island, Besaid Ruins 1, Besaid Falls. And any guesses where we might be? Look, we're up here. We're on top of this stuff where Kamari was hanging out at the start of the game. Why didn't he open the chest while he was climbing around up here? Jesus. So this is the Victorious. Funnily enough, we already just got a weapon for... Oh, geez. Was it armor? Yeah, okay. So we just got a weapon for Riku. We now get armor. This is lightning proof, fireproof, ice proof. It's weird, though, because at the point, when you get to the airship, right, entering the passwords is probably harder than scanning for areas, and yet Riku gets the proofs while Lulu gets the eaters. Like, why is that? Because she's meant to be a black mage? It just seems weird to me. She doesn't have it equipped right now, obviously. Just seems weird to me that one of them gets vastly superior gear, but whatever. So, yeah, Riku's now going to not be threatened by any elemental things. Actually, I find it kind of curious that they gave that lightning proof. It would have been cool if it was the proofs to all the other ones, but not lightning, because that's like Riku's thing. But whatever. So, input. The final one is Murasame, which is the only one I wouldn't be able to spell off the top of my head, because it's got like a weird thing. Mura, and this is another word. I know that there's a lot of people that are like, no, that's not how you pronounce it. I know Japanese. Murasame, is that it? Let me have a quick look here. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's like Murasame. Okay, cool. So then we'll confirm this. Password number 3 deciphered. And this takes us to the Besaid ruins too. So there's loads of places in Besaid. Really funny, especially considering in the sequel there's even more places they add to Besaid. For such a small island, like you look at the size of Besaid compared to like Kilika, it's like, wow, there should be so much more adventure and stuff to plunder there, but whatever. And here we go, we're in the same general area, but this time we can actually get to the chest that we've been seeing a lot throughout the series, and that's this one right here. I love these camera angles. And there you go. This is a weapon, I believe, for Auron, but because we've already got the celestial weapon going, that's really funny. Look at that. So we got, the Master Moon, which is his final weapon. But this here has 1 MP cost. So Yuna got half MP cost from the Zanakan Cloister. He gets 1 MP cost. The thing is Auron. So it's like, why would you want it? Well, because he can mug, for example. And because he wants to be quick hitting. Stuff like that. So that is useful. And I would recommend equipping it until you get his final weapon fully powered up. So let's have a look here. Let's see whose final weapons we've got. We've got Tidus's, the Khaled Bolg. We've got Auron's, the Masa Moon. We've got the World Champion for Waka. We've got the Spirit Lance for Kamari. We don't have one for Lulu. We don't have one for Yuna, but we do have one for Riku the God Hand. Yuna's comes from the Monster Arena, which I'll show you guys when we swap save files. But Lulu's final weapon is in one last location.
The final show.
This one is at this place here called Besaid Temple. So let's fly on over. And at Barge is where we'll find that final Albed clue, which would help us get to those passwords. So this you'll recognize. Remember, this is where we were. This is right at the start. The horrible music is still playing. This is where that Mega Potion was, which if you missed, you could finally get it back. Was it a Mega Potion or an X Potion? All the way down here. Oh man, guys, it was like 2 months ago we were playing here, and we're back now. Pretty cool. So you can actually dive in the water down there, and you will be separated into your party of swimmers. However, there's quite a powerful fight to be had down there, and I don't even know if my guys are strong enough to do it. Like, I was originally, in my first plans for this series, going to show you guys how to cheese out encounters with Trio of 999 in this encounter here, so that we could get through quickly. But if we come back first, I'd love to show you guys this. There is a reason to come back to these watery areas. And it's because now that we can translate Albed, if we swim over here, on the left, if you remember, is an Albed compilation sphere, which we could have activated if we did like another game now. We'd get sort of like a new game plus sort of experience here. But over here is one of these blue things. We interact with it and we can read it fully this time. And it says, in the land where bolts of light illuminate the blackest night, with Macalania behind you, the 4th pillar you sight, look not to the left, but on the right. And so that's talking about the Thunder Plains, which is, of course, where we saw just now, and you can continue the trail. So, yeah, let's jump in the water further ahead and see what we can find on our revisit. Now, I've got a pretty cool theory about the story of the game coming up, which I'd love to share with you guys. There's also some significant plot about Seymour here, too. Pretty substantive, really. Very substantive, considering it's so easy to miss if you can't scan the area on the airship. And I guess, really, that's what Final Fantasy does well. It adds, big, cool things that are very hidden, difficult to find. So here we go. We're going to dive in the water. This could be my death. I'll be very sad if it is.
What's up? Something here?
I almost got eaten by a fiend here. Payback time.
I get the picture. All right, let's go.
Oh, yeah, remember? They do so many underwater high fives in this game. I'm going to use the sphere grid. I'll see you guys in a second. Oh, actually, here's an ability on Tidus's grid I never talked to you guys about. It's called Entrust. What Entrust does is it sends all of your overdrive meter to whoever you want. So if Tidus's overdrive is full and Lulu's is empty, he can entrust to Lulu, and his bar empties, Lulu's fills. Really cool ability. Maybe I can demonstrate to you guys in this fight in a second. Maybe not. Okay, so yeah, we fought the Gagosagno here before. Remember, he almost swallowed us alive. Well, we can have a bit of a swim around. Hidden in these waters is another one of the final weapons. Right here in this like little cubby hole. If you interact, I guess maybe it will only spawn in a second actually. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But if we swim around, it's really, really well hidden. But this is where Lulu's weapon is. It's a bit like Kamari's. I always wonder, why is this one here? But you notice there does seem to be an exit to the area over here at this big doorway. A doorway we never got in before, okay? So we're trying to go somewhere new. All right, here we go. This is Gagosagno, round 2. Something really cool about... we're going to open with a Hastesia here. Really cool about this boss is that in his loot tables for drops, he has no encounters. Now, no encounters is an armor ability. It's not meant for weapons. But he has bugged stuff, just like that old Tidus buckler I talked about a while ago. So this is someone dead. Oh no, okay, great. Riku resisted it. So that's petrification, and that will just knock someone out instantly. We're getting plenty of turns here, though, so I'm going to go with an attack reels. Ah, I messed that up. That's okay, though. So he's not particularly tanky, but he does have some very dangerous attacks, so you want to get a lot of turns in. I'm pretty sure he's immune to basically everything, so don't concern yourself too much. So yeah, he drops no encounters weapons. If you don't get lucky in the Chamber of the Faith like I did, this is possibly, in fact, it's almost definitely your best way to get no encounter stuff. And so this is what I was going to start the World Tour on before. We were going to come here, we were going to get some no encounters, and then we were going to go crazy. Alright, so let's use, what do we want to use here, guys? Let's throw a light curtain on Riku herself. So what this will do is cast Protect on her, reducing the damage she takes. Tidus is going to start quick hitting. Now, should we survive this next attack? Okay, good. Alright, we're going to commence with smoke bombs and stuff on Riku, just so she's actually doing some damage. Now, what this boss can do is... Did I give Waka quick hit? I don't think I did, yeah. I gave him triple foul, but I'm pretty sure he's immune to everything. Now, this boss can swallow you, and if he does swallow you, not only will you take a butt ton of damage, but he'll take your buffs too. So, if he swallows a Hasted Tidus will give him a ton of stuff. Here's a slice and dice. We should be so close to his third overdrive, it's not even funny. How many videos have I been mentioning this for? There you go, this is 2 attacks, 3 attacks. I might be able to equip something with Sensor as well in a second, just so we can see how much health he's got. There you go, Tidus Land Energy Rain. Awesome. Do you have anything with Sensor? Yeah, you do. And Lightning Strike. Great. I don't know whether he's resistant to lightning. Oh, yeah, look, he takes double damage from all elements. I'm such a fool. Okay, so what we can be doing is throwing gems at him. He takes double damage from the gems that you steal. So this Ice Gem, for example, should do a lot of damage. And it was a Water Gem I think we stole. So 1,600, 2,400, probably well over that, actually. So here he's using KO Punch. This is when he gets low, he curses and immediately knocks a person out. Now Riku's one of our fastest characters, so we're going to want to get her back on the board nice and quick. There's a Phoenix down. I'm going to keep with the quick hits on Tidus. This gives him an extra go. And probably... No. Look, we can't be wasting turns. Waka does enough damage. In fact, is that him dead? Yeah, there you go. So that's the fight, guys. He's, as I say, he's got quite low health, but if he starts swallowing you, if he gets the petrifications off, he can be quite deadly. I personally had on my original file, my test file, I couldn't kill him without cheesing him as I came out at the end of the game. But my guys are a bit stronger here because I waited for Holy, stuff like that. There we go. We got the switch hitter there. Now that switch hitter, if we equip it with Waka, you'll find... Wow, it's got zombie touch. So this is not the weapon that... Oh no, there you go. So it's got no encounters. There you go. The zombie touch one must have come from some other time. No encounters weapon. This is totally exclusive gear. You can only get one in the entire game. 100% runs. That's it. Get this one. Don't sell it. And be careful. Now, because there's no such thing as a no encounters weapon meant to be in the game, it doesn't have a unique name or a unique skin, which is why it's called the switch hitter, which is the same as this zombie touch weapon up here, which are like status inflicting weapons. So yeah, pretty cool. On my test file, I got it with Kamari with only like 1 extra slot. That one had 2. Pretty sweet. So yeah, Gagosagno's dead. Now, remember, why did we come here? Why did Jecht, as Sin, take us from Dream Zanarkand and land us here? Of all places. Like, what even is this place? Some sunken temple, right? Well, now that Gagosagno is dead, let's actually swim through here. This is a different area of the temple than the collapsed, caved-in hallway we went to before. If you remember, the rocks fell in behind us, so we can't actually go back to where Riku first found us or any of that. This is a new area, an underwater passageway, as you can see here. We're going to rise up. This is a really cool place. And remember, the text that we saw all over the floor here, it said stuff like Guado Salam. It said Jiskel. Ah. So this is actually a temple, like a full-on, hey, come here on the pilgrimage kind of temple, but has been lost to the ages. Just like Remiem. Now, you can't do anything here at all, unless, during the course of the game, you got every single Destruction Sphere secret. If we come up to the front, nothing happens. This seal is blocking our passage, and you can see that there is an entrance to a Chamber of the Faith back there. There's also a couple of chests in this room, as you saw. There's one here, and I think there's one on the bottom right corner as well. 4 Mega Phoenixes there. Each time you have one of them, you can approach one of these statues, and it will light up. So that could have been the Bavel one, whatever. And each time you'll notice that these symbols that are lighting up are the same symbols that appeared when we opened the chests themselves in the Cloisters of Trials. So if you miss stuff, if you missed the one in Besaid first time through, if you missed the one in Lake Macalania the first time through, you have Dark Aeons to get through to get them back. So you want to do it first. It's quite a clever way they do it with 99% of the things in FF10. They're not permanently missable, but missing them the first time is punishing. And that's only true for the international remakes, because originally there was barely any end game to this game at all. There was just monster arena creations and one dungeon, and that was it. No Dark Aeons at all. They're all bonus content. So there's this guy. All these statues look like frogs to me. And finally, this one. The Zanarkand one. I guess we're at the Zanarkand one, I don't know. You can match them up if you look closely. And this in itself is a Closter of Trials, I guess. Either that, or we just swam through the dilapidated ruins of all the other Cloisters of Trials. So we're about to get an Aeon, guys. What could it be?
You are Maester Seymour's mother.
So you know, yet still you seek my aid. My son, do you not hate him? It is all right. He is the one who sowed the seeds of hatred. He is to blame. But I am at fault for letting him become what he was. He was always alone, half Guado, half man. I wanted to give him the strength to live by himself. And so I became a faith. But because I let him taste power, he began to thirst for more. He was not satisfied with my Aeon. He wanted more power.
And he found Sin.
Yes. Come, Summoner. I will bestow you with my power. The Dark Aeon, Anima. Destroy Sin, and my son's obsession with it. Though it is small recompense for what I did to him.
If I could do a video that didn't have like an obnoxiously long title, it would have been that line. That's so cool. So yeah, we get Anima. Now, she describes him as the Dark Aeon. He is not like the Dark. There is also a Dark Anima, then, if you like. If he's already a Dark Aeon, he has his own Dark Aeon that is just mind-bogglingly difficult to defeat. We will meet him in time, but for now, we have Anima, the real Anima. Also, I will mention that cutscene we see there, that like location she shows us, on the original PS2 release, you could use save editors and do all kinds of crazy stuff with the game, as I described with the Kamari Only Challenge. But you can also glitch into various rooms and environments and places that you should never normally be able to go. That's one of them. Like, you can go to these rooms and that aren't naturally playable, but only ever appear in cutscenes, and I just thought of that as we were watching. So yeah, we get Anima. Nothing really going on in this Chamber of the Faith. You can see her down there. And so Anima, the Aeon, is like the representation of how much suffering the mother, who is the Faith, has gone through. So the full story of Seymour we now actually have. It's kind of peculiar, though, the way they do it. The idea is Jiskel and his wife, they loved each other, they had a baby, they brought like Yevon together or whatever, but because this was the first time the two races had come together like that, people hated Seymour. He only saw hatred, and at one point in his life, Jiskel, seeing how much he was being abused, ordered him and his mother away. They left to live in seclusion here at Barge. And so that's why you see Guado Salam and Jiskel and stuff written around here. They lived here, and at some point, she decided she would give him strength. She blames herself. Jiskel blames himself. They went off on the pilgrimage, whatever. She became the Faith. And then what happened? He said no, and he sort of found Sin. He wanted to become Sin. He didn't want to be the summoner that just died to the final Aeon. He wanted to be the final Aeon. After he learned that story from Lady Unesca. And so that's the story of Seymour. There is something very cool that can happen later on in the game now that we have Anima. So let's have a look. Right. Anima actually appears below Yojimbo in the list. I don't know why. You'll notice he has 4,900 health. That is way more health than any other Aeon we have. If we have a look too, he has tons more strength. He's actually less defensive than Bahamut. Yeah, there you go. I said it right. First time I've had to say his name since the Bahamut debacle. He's not as evasive as Yojimbo, but this guy's crazy. He's got some amazing abilities too. How do I even show his abilities? There you go, look. He's got Sleep Attack, Silence Attack, Dark, Sleep Buster, Silence Buster, Dark Buster, Zombie Attack. He's got no special. He's got all the black magics, including Bio and Death. He's a cool guy. We'll summon him at some point. Don't you worry. But that'll be a special moment. So there you go. That's pretty much Barge done now. I do have a bit of a theory about why we came here too, okay? Now, if Jecht said he had a plan, right? And he wanted to take Tidus from Dream Zanarkand. He dropped us here off at Barge. I like to think that maybe the original plan of Jecht wasn't for us to get caught up and end up at Besaid and all this crazy stuff. I like to think that Gagosagno just like got in our way and kind of messed up his plan. I like to think that he wanted us to come here. We'd wander around cluelessly like, oh, what is this place? And then we'd find like safety through those doors. We'd enter the Chamber of the Faith. And then the Faith could just speak to us and just explain stuff and be like, yeah, look, so this is what's going on. Da-da-da-da-da-da. There you go. So check it out. This is why we need your help. Wouldn't that be amazing, right? I think that would be so cool if that was Jecht's plan. And then things messed up. We ended up with the Albed. We got taken on the salvage ship. So he attacks the salvage ship. And he decides, right, no, we'll go to Besaid instead. Braska's daughter's there. Stuff all happen, you know. Anyway, so yeah, hidden in this corner right here is a chest floating in the water. So not only do you get an Aeon here, not only do you get a cool story about Seymour, not only do you get to devise your own cool little theories, not only do you get no encounters armor, not only do you get an Albed riddle, you also get the Onion Knight. This is Lulu's final weapon. Really cool place. So the Onion Knight is, as with all of Lulu's gear, it represents something from Final Fantasy's past. Now, the Onion Knight was an old class, and it's the actual physical representation of it is the classic Final Fantasy 1 Knight, I believe. And on his shield, you can see the old pixel version of it too. It's really cool. Next time you see it in a battle, if I forget to remember, then just take a look for yourself. But yeah. So, that's Barge done. What is there left? I guess that's pretty much our world tour, except for Cenobia Sands. which we did skip over as we were going through. There is a bit of a story for us to go for there. There is a sigil for us to acquire. And this isn't a sigil I did on my preparation for the series because it's quite a long quest you get to do, and I wanted to talk about it as we go. So we're actually going to go and do that. We're going to head back to Beacon Out Island, not Cenobia Sands, that's the small new one we got. Beacon Out Island.